and assaulted while simply trying to enjoy the outdoors, exercising, or spending time with their families, which is something we want people to do. The Columbia Tap Bike Trail holds such significance for our community, and it serves as a vital link to other trails and in-street bike lanes in the city of Houston. You have heard me say many times that we are a bike-friendly city. We want to continue to be a bike-friendly city, and we want people to know that they can take advantage of our trails and they will be safe. Our witnesses have identified 5 incidents where cyclists were held up at gunpoint dating back to May 16th, and incidents that HPD believes could be the work of the same suspects. Detectives with the robbery division have been working diligently on these cases, and I'm happy to announce today that the detectives have identified suspects committing these crimes. 2 suspects are in custody and will be charged, and there could be additional suspects. In fact, I know there will be additional suspects as this investigation continues. There's still work to be done on identifying all those responsible, but I am confident that in a short period of time, those who have been committing these crimes will be apprehended in this very, very shortly. Look, let me just say this in closing. We want to make sure that cyclists, those who are walking on these trails, those who are running on these trails, if they feel safe in doing so. I just want to send a message to many of our young individuals, especially our young males between the ages, let's say, of 16 to 24. Do not do things that's going to really jeopardize your future. Be very careful who you're associating with, especially as we enter the summer. Please, there's no reason for you to feel like you have to victimize anybody, hurt anybody, rob anybody, shoot anybody, and be very mindful of the people that you are hanging out with who might be encouraging you to do that. And I would say to you immediately, step away from them, stay away from them, because if you end up hurting someone, shooting someone, robbing someone, you're going to be caught, you're going to be, and then you're going to spend your time in jail and with a record, and that's going to hurt you long term. To the parents, to the guardians, to the relatives, to the friends, let me just say to you, talk to your young men, especially that group between 16 to 24. Talk to them. Encourage them not to do these type of things because one could end up costing you financially, and then at the same time, not only could they be victimizing somebody else, but they themselves could find themselves hurt. So please talk to these young men. And then finally to the young men, there's no reason to be robbing anyone for any money. Get a job. In fact, we have hirehoustonyouth.org, hirehoustonyouth.org. All you have to do right now is go online, and we will give you a paid summer job. And that goes from anyone from the ages of 16 to 24. Join the other 15,000 young folk from 16 to 24 who have already applied, who are set to go, set to work in paid jobs. So you don't have to rob, just work. Okay? Don't rob, work, and then you'll put yourself in the best position for the future. Having said that, let me now yield to Councilmember Carolyn Evers-Shabazz.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Certainly, the TAP is a great concern to me personally. I do ride the TAP, and I live within a block of the TAP. But more importantly, it's a wonderful space for people to go out and exercise. And so the mayor has expressed exactly what I would like to express, and that is that young people, you still have an opportunity to change the trajectory of your lives. There are supports for you, job opportunities for you to go out so that you can get gainful employment, or certainly to go into the educational environment. I want to thank the Houston Police Department and any citizens that played a part in getting these young people in custody. Of course, it's bittersweet because now they are in custody and they are in the system, and there's an opportunity for those of you that are thinking of partaking in these types of activities to change your lives. So parents, know where your children are. Seek opportunities at some of the organizations that give them chances to go and do things that are positive. And so thank you so very much. We look forward to more information, and we're glad that those that were impacted are recovering and can participate also in this activity later when they have regained their strength. But thank you so very much again to Chief Fenner and the Houston Police Department for working so swiftly to be able to put these young people in custody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman and Mayor. Thank you. Thank the media. I want to thank our citizens and definitely our men and women on the front line. They've spoken about bettering yourself and getting a job. And I won't labor on that because it's already been said, but we are here as a city, as a police department, to help those who want to be helped. But make no mistake about it, those individuals that group up, and I don't care if it's on Columbia Tap Trail, Bike Trail, or anywhere else in our city, we're not going to tolerate it. So this is an active investigation. As we speak, people and our troops are out there rounding people up. I ask one thing, and every time I've asked the media for assistance, I want to say thank you because y'all provided it. With this particular case, and you'll hear from the lieutenants of both robbery division, Lieutenant Combs, and also Lieutenant Corey Cloud from South Central Crime Suppression Unit, to give you an update on what's going on with the investigation. But as the chief, I'm asking all of our media, because charges have been filed on two of them in custody. There's still some out there, and we still have to conduct photo lineups. So please, no photos on the media of these individuals. Give our investigators an opportunity to do their job. There's a lot of work still has to be done. We want to let our public know, continue to ride on any trail in Houston, but be vigilant, ride in groups. We have established teams that you'll see out on the trails, not only Columbia, but also around the city. Some officers you will see and recognize in uniforms, some you won't. And that's the message that we're sending to all of these individuals. So I want to thank South Central Crime Suppression Team. I want to thank our commanders. Both are not here today. Commander Johnson from South Central Division, and also Commander Smith from Robbery Division for the leadership that they provided. Quick moves on getting a few of these individuals in custody. There's still a lot of work to be done. Commander Hitzman is also here, and we'll discuss some things on jugging. But before we do that, let me turn it over to Lieutenant Corey Cloud, South Central Crime Suppression Team. And again, I want to thank you for your leadership, and Lieutenant, you can speak as well. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mayor Turner. Thank you, Councilwoman, for your leadership, you all's encouragement in this matter during the present time along the Columbia Tap Trail. I do want to take the time to let the public know that we do have 2 males in custody. We're going to go ahead and release the names at this time. We have been working zealously with Robbery Division, Lieutenant Combs from the Violent Offenders Unit from Robbery Division. And I want to take the time out to also thank the sergeants on the crime suppression teams who have been working zealously throughout this entire process. The names are Dion Kristen, 17 years of age, and Willie Carroll, 17 years of age. The investigations are ongoing, so please work with us in regards to understanding that we can't release a lot of details, because the last thing that we want to do is keep the public in danger. We want to suppress the danger and allow the bike trails to be a time of happiness, exercising, and just good times. So please work with us on that. Next, I'd like to say that the areas of the bike trails that we have saturated, we're using bikes, we're using ATVs, we're using e-bikes, which are basically electric bikes to basically ride on. So let's turn the pressing time into a time of relational policing. Let's get to know the officers on the trail. Let's have conversations, and let's try to use this time as a way to, build those relationships and let's try to bridge those gaps. So let's not allow, something that was criminal that others were doing that were negative, hurt our relationships with the police department. So we're going to remain proactive, we're going to remain vigilant, and we're going to be out there. And at this time, I'd like to yield to Lieutenant Combs for more details about the investigation.
Thank you, Corey.
Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Combs with Robbery Division's Violent Offender Squad. I just kind of like to reiterate what the chief and the mayor have said. This is an active and ongoing investigation, so we don't want to reveal too much about it that could possibly jeopardize the outcome of the investigation. We have 2 in custody. We're currently I work for the Violent Offender Squad, very skilled and knowledgeable group. We're actively right now trying to tie these cases together. There's 5 total robbery cases that occurred on the TAP trail. We're tying those together, trying to identify additional suspects. So we have 3 positively identified, but we think that there's more out there. The public was key in this investigation. We're asking the public again, if anyone was out there saw something suspicious, to please contact Robbery Division, 713-308-0700. If there's any additional victims that did not come forward, please come forward now. And anyone has any kind of information, please contact Robbery Division. We'll follow up on all leads. Thank you.
What were they charged for?
Yeah, so I can speak to that. Both suspects were charged with robbery and evading arrest. So again, both were charged with robbery and evading arrest. Evading arrest on foot. Yes. The first is D-E-I-O-N, last name C-H-R-I-S-T-T-E-N. The second is Willie, traditionally spelled Indian I-E, Willie. And last name is Carroll, C-A-R-R-O-L-L. Okay.
All right. Mayor, before we move on, I want to address some citywide stats. Although they hadn't went through staff review, so they're not our official stats, but year to date, this is where we are. And let me pause and back up just for a moment. CUNY Homes. This is not an indictment on them, and I want to say that because that question comes up, and we've heard it before. Your chief, your mayor, your council member, and all of us, we support the great people, and that great, and it's an institution. A lot of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't because our fathers and our mothers and our grandparents was raised, still are strong. So keep your head up over there. And these suspects, and the question may come up, do they reside, do they live there, are they hanging out? Definitely hanging out in those areas, but that's not an indictment of those great people over there. And I just want to say how much we love you and respect you. Hardworking individuals, very proud, a lot of history over there. So let's get that message out. But really, really quickly, I want to touch on some overall statistics year to date. We're still, again, a few days away from staff review, but murder is down 22%. Robbery is down 13%. Aggravated assaults, which includes shootings, are down 15% in our city. Overall violent crime is down 14%. My next topic I want to move to is juggings. And I want to say that a few days back, some stats were released. Those jugging incidents are up in our city. There is no actual category, national category that they keep stats on for jugging because you're talking more of a method of operation when you're talking about jugging. You're talking about individuals that are targeted after they're leaving jewelry stores, gun stores, or high-end stores, or the bank. Sometimes it ends up in a burglary of a motor vehicle. Sometimes it's robbery. But let the public know, and a message to the criminals. We are establishing a citywide task force, which is going to include other partners in our law enforcement field. And the message, just keep doing it if you may. We're going to get you, we're going to find you, we're going to put you in jail as well. So I have Commander Hitzman here with our auto theft division. She's going to go over a few safety tips and a few things, more things concerning the jugging. As the jugging numbers increase, catalytic converter numbers decrease, okay? So that may be a correlation in that. Some of those suspects, after laws are changed and we're clamping down on it, precious metals, prices going down, so they may be moving over. And it's my job as the chief and our job as a team to move with them. And that's what we're doing here in this city. So we should have some results here pretty soon. Thank you. Commander, come on up.
Thank you, Chief. Again, my name's Dana Hitzman. I'm the commander of the Auto Theft Division. I'm here to talk about jugging. And jugging is a term that we use here in Houston to describe a type of predatory theft. Basically, these suspects, they will spend hours conducting surveillance. Again, they do that most commonly at banks, at gun ranges, at high-end retail stores, and at jewelry stores. They will sit outside, typically in vehicles with dark tinted windows. Sometimes they will go in the bank and pose as a customer. But they work in teams, they conduct hours of surveillance, and they are watching for citizens who maybe are, walk out of the bank with a bank deposit bag or guns from a gun range. And sometimes citizens, instead of going directly home or to their place of business to make that business transaction, they'll go stop at a restaurant and leave that money in their car or their guns in their car. And most commonly, these juggings occur as a burglary of motor vehicle, where they break into the car and steal those valuable items. Obviously, these crimes also increase in confrontation sometimes and lead to robberies. And we've even, had a homicide a few years ago with a jugging incident. But what we're asking for today is citizens to be aware of their surroundings. When you leave those type of places, please pay attention to if you're being followed. If you feel like you're being followed, please call the police department or stop by your nearest police station. We don't want any citizens to get to be targeted by this, and we want to take action to get these suspects in custody. Some other things I wanted to mention, in terms of bank transactions, please complete those transactions electronically if that's possible. And then, again, please try to go from point A to point B. If it's a business transaction, try to go to the bank and do the business transaction. Please don't stop in between at restaurants or other locations. And then, as the chief mentioned, we are starting a task force for this that'll be with our investigative divisions and our patrol crime suppression teams. These operations, we already work reactively and proactively. They're very manpower intensive because of the type of surveillance that these suspects do. But we are successful in them, and we will continue to address these crimes.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Commander. Before we open it up for questions, really quickly, where's my commander? Come on up here and do this translation in Spanish. Chief, I'm sorry. Chief Garcia, I'm demoting you, huh? No. Come on up, Chief. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's
Yeah,
all right.
come on.
Mayor?
It's normally Commander. Y'all know who normally does it, my Commander, Chief of Staff, but he's off. So, but Chief, go ahead.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, buenos días. Soy Ernesto García, asistente jefe de la policía de Houston. Y primera cosa, quiero dar las gracias al alcalde Mayor para estar aquí con nosotros esta mañana. También quiero dar las gracias al jefe Chief Finner aquí con nosotros aquí también esta mañana. La cosa que estamos hablando esta noche o esta mañana es de tres cosas que el jefe explicó hoy. La primera cosa es una investigación de robo que los investigadores de la División de Robo están haciendo. Esta investigación es de una parte de la ciudad que se llama Columbia Trail. Es un lugar donde la gente va a caminar, a correr y tener las bicicletas haciendo ejercicio. Durante el partes del mes o 2 meses antes, teníamos unos robos en esa área. Entonces, división de robo con otras partes de divisiones aquí en el departamento de la policía, estamos haciendo una investigaciones de esos sospechosos. Hoy en la mañana queremos decir que tenemos cargos con 2 sospechosos de esos casos de robo. Estamos buscando a otros. Creemos que hay 5 o más sospechosos que están responsables de esos robos aquí en la ciudad, en esa parte de la ciudad. Pero todavía estamos trabajando e investigando esos casos. como el jefe Finner dijo, damos las gracias a las noticias para estar aquí, para presentar a la comunidad toda la información que estamos dando ahorita. Pero estamos pidiendo a las noticias que por favor, cuando oyeron los nombres de los sospechosos que han arrestado y que tienen cargos ahorita hoy día, pedimos que no sacan las fotos, no ponen las fotos ahí para mirar. Entonces, para ayudar a nosotros con la investigación, estamos pidiendo a las noticias para no hacer eso. Número 2, es el jefe Finner estaba hablando de números de crimen, de la violencia de crimen aquí en la ciudad de Houston. Él dijo que los porcentos de homicidios, de asesinantes o homicidios, han bajado 22% en la ciudad de Houston. También el crimen de robos han bajado 13% aquí en la ciudad de Houston. También el total de violencia de crimen de la ciudad de Houston ha bajado 14%. Entonces, esos son los porcentos que ahorita mismo que estamos mirando que han bajado aquí en la ciudad de Houston. La tercera cosa y la última cosa que quiero hablar esta mañana, como el jefe Finner dijo, es que estamos haciendo unas investigaciones de que un crimen que nosotros aquí en la ciudad decimos que se nombra juggings. Juggings es un tipo de crimen, que es un tipo de robo, donde los sospechosos siguen a la gente, a la comunidad. Siguen a la gente cuando van al banco, cuando están en un negocio de joyas, que están mirando joyas en un negocio que están mirando anillos, pulseras, joyas. Y en otras partes que los sospechosos saben que hay dinero o que hay armas. Entonces, la manera que estos tipos de crímenes están pasando es que los sospechosos pasan el día siguiendo estos tipos de personas, los siguen en el carro, los siguen en los lugares donde se paran, y cuando se paran o tienen la oportunidad, están ahí y roban las cosas como dinero o las joyas que piensan que todavía están en los carros. Entonces, aquí en el departamento de Houston, en la policía, con diferentes divisiones de investigaciones, vamos a estar empezando a poner un grupo de investigadores juntos para investigar estos tipos de crímenes que están pasando aquí en la ciudad.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. Thank you for the summary. Thank you. Yes, and we'll open up for questions. I know the mayor has a tight schedule to get to another event, but anybody have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah,
and we'll get you.
We previously reported that one of the suspects took one of the phone Venmo to pay themselves. Did that help?
We're not going to go over it. I appreciate it and respect all questions, but at this time, it's too active right now, and we're not going to go into any details. We simply wanted to come out and let our public know there has been movement on this case. We got 2 arrested, one that we're working on right now, and some additional, so we cannot go into any details. Thank you for the question. Go. Yes, go ahead.
Just really quick. So with that being said, can you talk about what's going to be done specifically for summer prevention against these type of incidents?
Same thing, what we mentioned earlier. You'll see officers out on the bike trails, on e-bikes, on ATVs, and some of them you won't see. You know, it'll be undercover officers. Of course, we have miles and miles. This is the city of Houston, and we can't cover. So we call upon our public, if you see anything suspicious, please let us know. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, these safety improvements that the community's been calling for, the $100,000 from Councilmember Evan Shabazz's office, where is Houston Police Department at in terms of implementing those safety features? Houston Public Works says it's up to HPD to start a program and look into that.
What I'm sorry, safety. What are we talking about?
Call boxes, lighting, cameras.
I'll let the council members speak to that. I don't know.
think
Yes,
I better speak to
Mayor. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
There are a number of improvements that we have made, will continue to make under One Safe Houston. I know that there are conversations between the council member and Public Works. All of that is flowing through the administration. I am reviewing all of that because there are a lot more details involved. But what we can do immediately is to have more police officers, both in uniform, those are not in uniform, looking at ways of putting up more cameras on these trails, on all of them, not just on any particular one. So we're assessing all of the tools that we can implement and how quickly we can do that. So there are conversations, but it's just a lot more intricate than just say, let's go and put up something.
Thank you, Mayor. Anybody else?
Are you encouraging the buddy system perhaps on the trails, or?
It's always good to have someone else with you when you're traveling, period. When you're walking and going through any place in the city. And certainly if you're alone, you need to provide some information to your family members so that you can have some accountability or some system. And so it's going to be incumbent on people that are out there moving about to be vigilant and certainly to give others the opportunity to know where you are at all times.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
What type of violence was involved in these incidents? They used a gun in all of them? Or
Number of things that I don't want to go into detail with them right now, and once we make those arrests and all of them, we're going to give y'all a complete update, I promise you. Somebody over here, wait, before we get back. Does anybody have anything over here? For a final question, we'll get to you. Go ahead.
Speaking of, how many suspects are you looking for, and could this be gang related?
We don't know at this time, and I don't feel comfortable with speculating right now, but I can tell you this. We're laser focused on getting everybody that's involved in these crimes and any other crime in our city, especially when it involves violence, and especially when groups of individuals are terrorizing people. We will not tolerate it. And our mayor has given us so much support, our council members, One Safe Houston, a lot of overtime dollars, and that's why you're seeing those results. So as the mayor said, we'll continue to do whatever we can, but we need the public's assistance in it, okay?
Chief,
Yeah,
let me just
go ahead.
emphasize and
Yes.
very quickly. Let me just emphasize. We want people to utilize the trail. So please utilize the trails, okay? I'll be out there on the trails. You never know who you're going to run into if somebody wants to do something wrong. I mean, the person riding that bike could be a cop, okay? The person riding that bike could be the mayor, okay? So we want people to utilize the trails. By and large, our trails are safe, okay? So I don't want 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 individuals who are just making bad decisions to stop the thousands of others from utilizing trails where we're creating connectivity, a walkable, friendly, pedestrian, bikeable city. Please utilize them. And the only thing that I would say is that to people and we're going to beef up resources during the summer. So what I would say to these young persons out here, exercise good judgment, okay? Don't make a foolish, silly mistake. You will be caught. And then I just ask that once we catch them, that judges be mindful of the fact that they play an integral role in making sure that they don't just put people back out. There is a cost when you commit a crime. You don't have the luxury of committing a crime and then being out and then go and do it again. So let's all work together, and then I think we're going to have a very safe city. And then on the homicides, I just have to point out, because I'm sorry, we are 43 homicides less than we were in 2022, and we are 43 homicides less than where we were in 2021, okay? So we are moving in the right direction, and I want to thank Chief Fenner. I want to thank the whole command staff. I want to thank the 5,200 police officers that we have. I want to thank the community leaders and everyone who's participating because we are trending in the right direction. But every now and then, we deal with these incidents that we have to address, and we will do that. So I just had to say that. I'm sorry, Chief.
No, we're good. Thank you.
Were you able to say if the boys were remorseful at all when arrested, or?
I'm not going to say anything right now, respectfully, okay? Hey,
Clarification, I just want to, because I'm going on a.
this is the last question, though,
Yeah,
okay?
just
Come on, we got it.
One, 3 suspects identified, 2 charged, correct?
Yes,
Or is that early?
yes. Yes.
Are you asking us not to use photos?
Please don't. No photos. Thank you for clarifying that. And hey, that's why I love our media here. Okay. Thank y'all. But we got to go. Thank y'all. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.